All right. I'm Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican Kid KG. This is Fight Hype. And today we have former national champ, former Olympian, former WBO junior lightweight champion, most honorably United States Marine veteran, Jamel Herring. Thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Nah, thank you. There's a lot going on. We just saw you in the ring recently. So we'll get right into it. You had an 18-month layoff. You came back. You had a great first round knockout against an unbeaten opponent, Nicholas Molina, on Veterans Day, or excuse me, on a Veterans Day themed card. What did
Right.
that victory mean for you?
Um, I really can't say like I just know me. I know I trained really hard for that fight because again, it was a long layoff. I know a lot of people still when I even mention my fight now, people don't even realize that I even came back in November and fought and knocked them out in the first round. But again, I'm happy with the results, but I really wanted to like really shake off some ring rust. So hopefully I can get back in it, soon. I mean, I don't think I need another fight for ring rust, but again, I thought with that fight, I was hoping I could shake off the ring rust. But again, just being back in camp and consistent and staying in the gym, and that goes a long way.
Yeah. No, it definitely does. Do you think it went according to was an early stoppage part of the plan?
Wayne, my trainer Wayne McCullough, he figured that it'll be the second round actually. For me, I would just say I don't really look for that. I'm not the type looking for knockouts, whatever like that. I just go with the flow. If it comes, it comes. But again, I thought like again he was undefeated fighter. I was using using the test as an example because you see a lot of guys when they come back or whatever at the long layoffs, they want to fight guys with like losing records, as it may say. So I thought with a guy undefeated record or whatever, that I was at least gonna get some rounds in, but I didn't expect it. I mean, I'm happy that it came because, like I said, we don't get paid overtime. But again, like I said, I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, look, I know you're obviously looking to position yourself to get back into a championship fight or a fight that puts you in line for a championship fight. And we recently saw you speaking with Eddie Hearn in Quebec at the Better BF
Right.
Smith presser. I'm sure you brought up, IBF junior lightweight champ George Cordina to him or Jordan Gill, who just had a sensational stoppage of Conlon. But looking at what Eddie said about them already having a fight schedule, how likely
Right.
do you think it is that you see one of them?
I actually didn't bring up, I didn't bring up either one of the individuals. I just actually like because he already knows what I wanted, so I didn't feel the need like to really press him on it because he already knows what I want. My promoter Lou DiBella, he knows what I want. And I already knew at that point in time, I already knew that I seen the announcement of Kakachi and Cordina anyway. So it was pointless to even bring it back up or whatever. I just basically told him that I would like to come over to the UK and pretty much fight whoever he had lined up over there, whether it's Lee Wood, Josh Warrington, Jordan Gill, Cordina, like that. That was my main thing. Like I just wanted to speak with him kindly. Eddie's not a bad dude. He showed a lot of respect in the end when he did his interview with someone and he was asked about me. So he showed a lot of respect, and I get that respect with Eddie. But it was mainly just to listen. Like I'm open to travel, to do whatever, saying, and to fight and to fight whoever. So that was really what it was. But shout out to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. They're real good people over there.
Yeah. No, I like Eddie. I've interviewed him a bunch and he's always shown a lot of class. You're absolutely right. And he did speak well about you. Cordina already having a fight on the schedule. And I know you didn't speak with Eddie about it, but do you think Warrington or Lee Wood or any of those other fights may materialize this year? Has there been any traction
Like I
there?
said, it depends. It depends. Like I said, it's all in their book. I know people still like today want to criticize or had they comments about just me fighting still. But again, you seen it yourself with your own two eyes. I didn't seem like I slowed, even though it was one round, whatever. But like in that one round, I was still sharp. My reflexes are still there. I didn't like he threw punches at me. I didn't get hit with anything. I didn't get hit at all, I believe. And again, they always say the power is the first thing to go. But for me, I'm more on like the reflexes. If you can't get out the way of the punches, then it's definitely time for you to really think about what you want to do. But like I said, I needed the time off because I had issues with my right shoulder, and I just needed my body just to heal up a little bit. So again, for me with those fights, it's the ball's in their court. Like again, I'm not here. I don't press the issue. I don't sit there and try to call out dudes over and over again, and try to bully my way into a fight. But again, if those fights come, I'm more than willing to take it. If not, there's still a lot over here stateside that that we can do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's a great segue because, just minding the internet a little bit, before our interview, seeing what was going on out there in reference to Jamel Herring, I saw something with Tevin Farmer where he said, a fight with you would be a good name for him on his resume. How do you feel about that fight? And what is your relationship like with Tevin Farmer?
I mean, Tevin, he was on my last fight. Tevin was on my last fight. He was there. He called me out. The announcer had told me that he was there to call me out, and we spoke right after I got the ring. But it's no beef. It's no bad blood. He's pretty much in the same boat that I'm in. Trying to get back into the swing of things, and my name's there. For me right now, like I said, just being where I'm at, I'm just, as long as it makes sense and it gets me to where I need to be in terms of another world title opportunity, then it is what it is. But I don't press it. I don't, so I don't look more further than that. So as long as it makes sense and it pays right, then I'm all for whatever. But again, I'm just going with the blueprint right now that Lou has. I mean, his name has popped up also. But again, we're just looking for the biggest opportunities and the best opportunities to get me back on that path. I know right now I'm ranked in the top 10 by the WBO. I know I'm creeping my way back up in the WBC rankings, as you see. I got a good relationship with the WBA, and of course, if I want to get a crack at Gordina, I got to get back into the IBF ranking. So right now, I'm just I know Lou. I spoke to Lou a few days ago, matter of fact, and right now he's just looking for something for me that gets me back in the shoots me back up in the rankings as high as possible to get a title shot.
Got it. Got it. I watched, all the stuff like I told you recently of you in Quebec. And I saw something where you said, you just want to, like you just stated, you just want to get in the ring. You want to fight guys that make sense, that put you back in line, and that you're easy to work with. And I think about that in relation to some of the stuff that's going on right now. Like you got Floyd Schofield and Jojo Diaz didn't happen apparently because of money, or Ryan and Pitbull Cruz not happening because of money. So my question is, do you think fighters in this era have like an overinflated perception of what they're worth, and it may be costing them opportunity?
I'm not, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna tell what a fighter thinks that they're worth. You know what I mean? I mean, everyone has their own mindset. Hey, look at it. I know people look at me like, oh, I only came back because I'm broke. But again, the whole thing, and when I fought in November, I gave up half my purse to veterans and the NYPD, whatever. It was basically for charity. I gave half my purse for that. So obviously for me, it was never a money thing. You know what I mean? It was more about giving back, especially to fellow veterans. But going back to what you were saying, I mean, sometimes we, because I'm a fan first, we as the fans, we look at it as fighters overprice themselves to simply get out of talks for certain fights, or some fighters just believe that the number they offer is what they really believe that they're worth. But again, I think you just have to have a great team and a smart management behind you to to keep you level-headed and be reasonable with those type of things. But I could have sworn, like I said, again, you probably know more than me with it. I thought I seen the whole thing with JoJo and Floyd. I knew it was because of money, but then I thought it was back on again. So I don't even know what the situation with that is over there. But like as a fan, I just want to see good fights, such as yourself. I just want to see good fights. And again, like with my team, with my guy, Jerry always says the money is always in the fights, meaning the more you win, the higher your value is going to go up anyway. You know what I mean? So the more you continue winning, the higher your value is going to go up. So I think you got to just continue, winning. And again, like I said, if you feel like a certain number is what you're worth, then so be it. But again, the more you win, your stock is going to grow anyway.
Yeah. I actually just spoke with Floyd. That's who I was speaking with a little while before you. And he said that I think
Okay.
Jojo had asked for like $500,000 or something like this, according to Floyd, of course. And it didn't happen. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I mean, yeah. Some of those numbers is crazy. Like again, like especially if it's not like a world title fight. And I get it. JoJo was a world champion. That's my guy. We was on the same Olympic team together, teammates. Saying we hung out together and everything. But like sometimes you got to be reasonable. Like $500,000. You got to look at it also. It's like it's more with the networks these days. Is the network going to really pay one side $500,000, and it's not that type of it's not even a world title fight, whatever like that. And like I said, my man Floyd, he's still coming up. So it's like, again, if you're going to pay JoJo half a million, of course, then the other side is going to want something similar or even more than that. You know, with them probably, you know, being an undefeated fighter or the A side, whatever. So you got to look at, again, sometimes people just make, you know, saying crazy proposals out there, but it is what it is. If they give it to you, then hey, you won big. But again, if they don't give you that and they still bring it down a bit and they, you know, it's something close to it, then, you know, make the fight. You win, you'll get more than that 500, whatever that you probably asked for your next time around.
Yeah. Do you think, and you know, I say the Mayweather effect because Floyd was great at business, right? We all know that. He positioned himself really well. Do you think there's some after effect of Floyd, like some of these fighters maybe looking at what happened with Floyd and putting themselves in positions where they can't get
At the
fights?
end of the day, it's the fighters themselves, man. I can't even blame the promoter or the networks, or Floyd. I can't blame Floyd for that. I mean, Floyd did what Floyd did was best for him. A lot of people didn't understand they're not Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? They're like I said before. At the end of the day, it comes down to what the networks at times feel that you're worth. If you bring in Floyd Mayweather numbers, then the network and promoters they're gonna give you, you know, Floyd Mayweather numbers. But if you just have an O, but your resume isn't stacked like that, or you haven't even fought a list of world champions like Floyd and promote like Floyd in terms of putting yourself out there in the public eye where people want to see you win and lose. You can't put that on Floyd. Again, that was Floyd just marketing and putting himself in the best position that for Floyd. You know what I mean? And he did everything he had to do. He was out there, you know, doing the media tours. He was out there putting things out on social media when social media wasn't as big as it is now. So there's really no excuse for why fighters aren't marketing themselves, because you see a lot of guys. Again, me, bro, you know me, I'm cool. Like I'll sit down and do an interview and keep my name out there as much as possibly can. Even now, if people don't agree with it or not about me coming back, whatever, you still see my name out there. And you know, it's like, oh yeah, Jamel's still out there, or Jamel's doing this, or he commentating. But a lot of fighters, you don't see them, you don't hear from them unless they're involved in making a fight, or you know, saying fight week comes up and they start posting up, oh, the flyer, whatever for fight. But Floyd was out there really marketing himself. He had the networks behind him. You know, the networks alone was doing deals with Floyd directly. So that's you can't again, it's a different. Floyd is different. Everyone is not going to be Floyd Mayweather.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, again, I'm not knocking any fighter who you know, puts a potential worth or, you know, price on their fight, but we do see some of these fights not happening. And lately, you know, it seems a lot of it is Golden Boy related. Some of these fights aren't happening according to Oscar because of money. Have you seen anything, or have you been watching what's going on with like Ryan supposedly fighting
I watched
Haney?
it there. I watched it today. Well, Ryan said, you know, he's not doing the Jose Ramirez fight. Fans like, okay, then who do you want to fight? Then he's like, how about, you know, I know he's joking, whatever, but obviously, but like, you know, why not De La Hoya and Garcia? So I get it. Like again though, but sometimes you got like, and I got a lot of love for Golden Boy. I used to fight on Golden Boy cards when I first turned pro. You know, so I speak with Oscar from time to time about, you know, because I do management, so I speak with Oscar about, you know, doing fights over there with Golden Boy. But again, sometimes they gotta look back and look at the monster that you created. You know what I mean? Like y'all, yeah, this is the fighter that y'all built. And again, Ryan did that a lot himself as well with his own platform. But you know, he's basically in a position where world champion or not, he's calling his shots. And it's like, what do they do? You know what I mean? Do they just sit back and just take it, or they just, you know, put their foot down or whatever? But again, I like Ryan. I like Ryan as a fighter, and I want to see Ryan in the ring with someone meaningful. You know, again, I wanted to see him in there with Devin. Did not fell through. I didn't mind him, you know, fighting Rollies, because I figured if he fought Rollies, not saying if he's going to win or not, but if he fought Rollies and say he did win, and he put a belt on him, okay, undisputed. Whether people look at belts or respect belts or not, undisputed championships always make for a bigger publicity, you know, in the public eye. So I thought if he went back to the Devin Haney talks, that'd have been a good promo where, you know, undisputed versus you know, champion versus champion, and going into that one. But then, you know, that fell through, and then he's saying no to Jose Ramirez. So it was like, I don't know. You gotta, like I said, you gotta ask literally, like, I would love to sit down with Ryan one day and just kick it with him and talk to him, like, just to pick his brain at times when he comes to these decisions. But Ryan Garcia don't do what Ryan Garcia want to do, man. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I think we've seen that, especially recently. Cool. Switching gears a little bit. So, obviously you have extensive history with B&B, Bomac, Terrence, Bud, the whole crew there in Omaha.
Right.
What do you think about Bomac, finally getting recognition and being named Trainer of the Year by the Sporting News?
I think Bomac been getting his recognition. Like I said again, look what he's done with me. He took me from coming off a loss back in 2017 and built me up to becoming a world champion. Him, Red Spikes, Eastside Diegas, and Bud. So I always credit those guys and show love and respect. I love them all. Those they're still family. But Bomac, and another thing, I think 2019, the Ring Magazine had me as comeback fighter of the year. So a lot of that is credited to that whole entire crew. But and Bomac always gotten the respect. I think it was just one of those years where he had to he had to remind people, who, how good of a team, how great of a team they have over there. Because like I said, it's not just him. They all look at it as just one big family, one unit. Like I said, I always said to myself, Red and Esau, they could be trainers separately in their own camps and still be great. But the fact we put that whole dynamic together, it makes it real special. So, I'm happy for Bomac. Me and Bomac we still talk. I gotta come out there. I'm supposed to come out there, what I'm saying, and kick it with those guys, whether they're in Vegas and or back in Omaha. But they're doing a real good job. They're doing really great with Keyshawn. Shout out to Keyshawn Davis. Bud had even with that one fight last year, he had a spectacular year. And he won it in spectacular fashion against another spectacular fighter. So much credit to those. And then you see what they did with Eubank. So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking about Bud, recently Errol Spence came out and shared some information about his eye and how like it might have affected him in the fight. Do you think there's validity to that? And do you think it's fair for him to bring that up now, so far removed from the actual match?
I was actually kind of thrown off. I'm not gonna lie, because again, like Arrow was like really quiet. He don't really talk about what he goes through with personal life or stuff that you may assume is going on with him. So I was kind of like surprised about it. But again, um, he was open and honest for most from what I take it from it. But I know some might looking at it, okay, he made an excuse for this or that. But again, it is what it is. And honestly, I didn't really want to see the rematch because I just figured that there was a lot going on with him. He's been away for a while as it is, and somebody like Bud's always in the gym, so I already know what type of time it is when it comes to with Terrence. But it is what it is, man. You can take from whatever from it. What I'm saying, I'm not gonna talk down on it or too much into it because what I'm saying, Arrow's still a close friend of mine and a good friend. So I don't know. It is what it is. But for me, I didn't really care for the rematch. Honestly, I don't know. A lot of people probably agree or have the same sentiment as me as well. We've seen enough. We've seen how it played out. I hope that if he wants to continue fighting, you know, he did put out in his that one tweet saying that he was living like a fighter. So I hope if he does bounce back and continues to fight, I hope he eats, sleeps, and breathes boxing again and wants to get back into it. Both feet in the door. Once you have one foot at the door, it's not a good look for your health, for health wise. You know what I mean, on your safety. So if he does want to come back, I'm all for it. I'm going to support him. But again, I'd rather see him and Bud just go their separate ways and fight other fighters.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans, especially a lot of Bud fans, feel that way, and even people who are just being honest, who watch that fight, I'm sure they share that same feeling. If it were to happen, do you think Errol's performance could change? The result could change?
I think he probably could show more depending on where the weight, of course, where it's at. But again, I think in my honest opinion, you still gotta give it to, you still gotta favor Bud going into that fight as well. Because again, Bud is the type of dude, if you challenge him, if you can come with your all, he's gonna also take it to another level as well. So at the end of the day, it don't care. It doesn't matter what version you get of whoever. Terrence Crawford is gonna be Terrence Crawford in there at the end of the day.
Yeah. What do you think the path forward for each of them is? Like, what's the path forward for Bud?
If
If
Bud doesn't stay
not
at
Errol.
if Bud stays at 47, obviously the biggest fight you probably make that people will accept at least is obviously the Boots Ennis fight. But if he wants to go up and take some, and win and compete for another world title and win another world title, of course it's the Tszyu fight. It's a Tszyu fight. I mean, me personally, I would like to also. I would have loved to see. Well, depending if say for instance if Jamel Charlo would have performed, I guess differently for in the Canelo fight, win, lose, or draw. Obviously, people would have probably wanted that fight against him and Bud at 154 because they have a lot of bad blood and a lot of history there and a lot of built up in the zone, and it's easy to sell. But again, I think the next best thing at 154 pounds is clearly the a Tszyu fight. The same way, same way when he moved to 47, he fought Australian then. You know what I mean? So why not do it again in another weight class and in Vegas again?
Yeah, shout out to my man Jeff Horn. So
Yeah.
okay. What do you think about Bud fighting Canelo? Because that's something he stated he wanted, which is a
I
whole
mean, if
nother
you
weight
want, hey,
class.
listen, I don't put anything past Bud. Bud is that guy. You know what I mean? I don't put anything past Bud. If he said he wants to do it, he clearly sees something, and that's just what he's going to do if he can. If they want to pursue that route as well, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure people can say what they want. Well, yes, weight classes matter, but again, Bud Crawford is just a special fighter, and this is basically the Bud Crawford era.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think? I mean,
And shout out to Naomi anyway. Anyway, is another special fighter in this era as well. So again, like those guys, just special guys. If they want to move up, same thing with Inoue. If he wants to move up into a new weight class and continue, pushing himself and testing himself, I'm a fan. I'm a tune in.
yeah, I think we all would. I think we all would. Do you
Yeah,
think
for
Bud can
sure.
pull it off?
Yeah, I think Bud can put it off. Will it be easy? No, it's Canelo, but I think he could pull it off. I don't think Bud expects it to be easy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but it's Canelo. I mean, we also got to look to see what Canelo has left in his tank and what he wants to do next. But again, this is boxing. Anything is possible. Anything is possible in boxing, and I know him personally, man. And I know people are going to criticize it, whatever, and saying that I'm crazy. But again, I think he can pull it off because he's a smart fighter. He is. We're not saying that he's going to go in there and try to go blow for blow. He's a very smart fighter. He's very strategic. He'll take away your best assets if he once you give him the time in there to probe, so to really download what's going on in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's actually interesting you say that because in the Arrow fight, I share the same thought. I think a lot of Bud fans felt that way. Bud is known to be a quote unquote slow starter, but he got right to it. He got
He got
right
right
to it.
to it. Yeah, he got right to it.
Yeah,
But again, like I said, Canelo's one of the best fighters out there in the world too. Very crafty. He can hit. You know what I mean? He can box. I think after he fought Floyd, and that was what 10 years ago now or so. That
about that.
yeah, over a little over 10. You know what I'm saying? Like his defense has gotten very sharp in there where he's a lot more smoother and slicker. But again, Father Time on both ends, it doesn't is undefeated at times. So we just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah. What do you think the path forward for Errol is? Should he come back? If he's not going to fight Bud, who should he fight?
I think
What weight class?
if he comes back, he has to be, he has to want it. He has to have that hunger. You gotta have that dog. Cause like again, um, what the great Marvin Hagler said, it's hard to get up and go run at 5 in the morning when you wake it up in silk sheets. So he's living a good life. He put out there. He's living a good life. So it's hard to really get motivated and still have that hunger at times when you have everything that you want already and you really don't need boxing because he doesn't need the sport anymore if he decides that he wants to just hang it up and do whatever. But if he comes back, I would like to see him just. I know he doesn't like tune-ups, but again, everything he's been through in terms of the wreck and his eye, I like to see him slowly get back into it. You know what I mean? And not jump straight into the fire again. So I don't need to see him with no tomato can, but we got to see somebody that has some resistance, but that is going to make him work and get some rounds in and see where he's at.